I'm going to give you 5 house shopping tips. Hi, I'm Julie Connor, licensed associate real estate broker with eXp Realty in New York and Connecticut. Tip number 1, make sure that your clients have a pre-approval letter and make sure that it's not expired. And if it is expired, please get a new one. It's so important that the pre-approval is a pre-approval and not a pre-qualification letter. And if you do have a pre-qualification, I would strongly recommend that you get a pre-approval letter. If you don't have a pre-approval letter, it's going to be very difficult, especially in a multiple offer situation, for you to stand out on top. The other thing that I would highly recommend is that it's from a local bank or mortgage company. Sometimes I have buyers that are coming from New York with a pre-approval letter that I've never heard of the mortgage company. This is a really big problem because probably the seller's agent has never heard of the mortgage company, and they feel more comfortable when they're working with a local bank or a local mortgage company. This is especially important in a multiple offer situation. Tip number 2, always contact the mortgage broker before you house shop. I always contact the mortgage broker to introduce myself. Often I want to get a number of pre-approval letters from that mortgage broker for the clients, especially if this is a situation where we're looking for houses that are in the 400,000 range and I have a pre-approval letter for 600,000. I never want to show all my cards to a seller's agent. The other thing is I always get asked by my clients, how much is their mortgage going to be? Well, that's a question that takes into account many factors. It's going to look at what the price of the house is. It's going to look at the taxes. If you're talking about a condo, there may be special assessments. You have the HOA fees. There may be other fees such as, beach fees and things like that. There may be local tax district fees. And then you have homeowners insurance. So the mortgage broker can very easily come up with a good estimate, for a number of houses just to make sure that your buyer is going to feel comfortable. Tip number 3. This is really important. Always remind your buyers about the essentials that they must bring with them when you're doing the showings. I always make sure that we know the attorney before we go on showings, just so that when we write up an offer, we can put our attorney's name in that. And if we're seeing like 6 to 8 houses, I always schedule a break in between, especially we may be running late because of traffic or they love a specific house and we're spending more time in it. The other issue is food. And this is something that you can't forget about. Always bring snacks, lunch, drinks. I always keep extra food in the car. And if your buyers are hungry, they may not be thinking straight, and you may not have time to stop to get food. So this is really important. The other thing, I remind them to bring a physical check, which not everybody has these days. I remind them that they have to bring proof of funds. The seller's agent will typically ask for that, and so that we know that if we're putting down a binder, that we know where that money is coming from. I also recommend that they bring a pad and pen, so as they're driving around, they can make a list of all the things that they liked about a particular house and the things that they don't like. If you've seen 6 to 8 houses in a day, everything is going to look the same by the end of the day. Tip number 4. This is especially important in this market. Please call the seller's agent before you go to showings. Call them or text them. Once I book appointments, right before I go to the showing, I always call or text the listing agent just to make sure that the house didn't go into contract between when I booked the appointment and today, just in case the agent forgets to change the MLS. This happens all the time. The worst thing that can happen is that you show your clients a home, they absolutely love it, and then you find out the house is already in contract and things are really looking good for that contract. The other issue that's very, very important is make sure that a highest and best situation isn't a deadline the day that you're going. I've had situations where I start showing houses at 9 o'clock in the morning, and then we find out that the highest and best is due by 3 o'clock, and that house that they really want to see is at 2:45. So what we do is we change the rotation of the homes so that we can make sure that we get to see the house that they really want to see as soon as possible. Tip number 5, and this is really important, always bring a paper copy of the MLS listing. Always bring a standard real estate contract or offer memorandum based on what's required. The pre-approval, the proof of funds, all the disclosures, lead disclosures, the property disclosures. I can't even begin to tell you how many times I've written up and I've cam scanned the offer packet in the car or in Dunkin' Donuts between showings. You may not have the time to go back to your office to be putting together a packet when you have deadlines to meet. And I have so many more tips and suggestions for all of you, both from the buyers and sellers side to the agent side. I really want you to subscribe to my channel. You just need to click down below, and I'd love you to like it at the same time. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching.